Look, a package! This time it's with dice, and although the label says there's just one die in the pack, that's a lie. It's filled with dice. It's a narrow package, and this time the dice are all on the same plane, and the envelope is actually completely sealed. So I'm pretty happy with this delivery from the dice shop online. I haven't had any dice lost in the many orders I've made from them, but there have been situations. Well, this one is nicely packed, and the seal is right on the money. All right, so let's get, let's continue with this up close and personal look at opening one-handed this envelope. Okay, what did I order? Let's see if we can get the name right in this particular video. This is from a series of dice called Stormcloud, and there are a variety of colors. I did not go for the full variety of colors, but I did go with a lot of additional dice, as is my way. But before we get to that, please remember that dice are a choking hazard. Okay. These cards from the dice shop are kind of nice. Thank you for buying our dice, it says. And this is pretty much the only kind of greeting you get from them. Now this time we have some difference. The extra dice that I ordered are in a Ziploc bag, and the standard set, as they call it, the set of 7, is in a pre-sealed package. So that's interesting. Now all of these dice are from the same series, let's say, Stormcloud. Most of them are black, as you can see, which gives us a very stormy appearance. And I also got some selected dice from the sapphire or blue and the ruby or red collections in this series. We'll take a look at the dice that I ordered. I got a bunch of extra D6s and a bunch of extra D12s, a couple of D20s and that sort of thing. So we're just looking through the package, and we got in close, but I'll take everything out of the package so we can really see. But already it's obvious, even through the plastic, that there's a good variation of color and mixture throughout the whole line, so that each of your dice is, in its own way, a unique representation of what this series of dice is about. So we've got them all lined up. We can see that the 12s are quite dark, but as we get in closer to them, we will see more of the translucence or transparency through different pieces. The 6s, the one closest to the camera, was almost completely black all the way through, but as we're moving through the line, we can see more or less of the transparency. What makes the black series different from the other series is that the black is mixed with a transparent color, and the sapphire and ruby are mixed with white. So the effect is quite different. All right, one more pass over the 6s. We see that one is practically opaque. This one is practically transparent, but each one is different in its own way. So you can imagine as they roll across the table, there'll be some, something nice to look at, which is a part of the fun of dice, I think. So let's get in really close. No, let's get in really close and take a look even at the surface of the plastic. We can see that the numbering is good. It's deep. It's not without flaw. We see the faces are pretty smooth, all things considered, considering, the distance that they traveled and grinding up against each other in the package gives me good hope that these are quite durable dice. They have a really slick looking edge. So not too rounded, not too sharp. And like we said before, and as we can now easily see, each die is visually distinct within the restrictions provided by the set itself. Now let's go over and look at the other dice in this series. Now I'm not certain that 10s and 20s are the best representation of these lines. It definitely looks like a smoky kind of swirl going on in there, in the same vein as the Stormcloud, but I have these dice positioned to show the only spots on them where the white is visible. So the rest of the die is a pretty strong blue, like this D20 and like the red D20 also. So on the red D20, only this little corner here next to the 11 really shows any of the white swirl at all. I'm sure the rest of the set is different, but this particular D20 doesn't have a lot of the other material visible in it. Right? So looking at this face, it could just easily be mistaken for a red D20. So that's something to keep in mind. Each set is obviously very different through each die. So you could order the same set multiple times and get a noticeably different experience. So let's open up the standard set, right? And we can see what the D20 in the Stormcloud black looks like. So you can see there's a lot of transparency visible in this one. So imagining the red or blue die with that much of the white material, it would look much more stormy than the ones that I have. The lightest die in this whole collection seems to be a tie between the second D6 there and this D4. This D4 is practically transparent. Right. So we have good variety in an interesting looking die type. Bold numbers, as is the trademark of the Dice Shop online. These ones in gold, which I think is a good choice given the base coloration. Very legible and readable. And overall, I'm quite satisfied both with the quality of the dice and the price point. So this ends the video look at Stormcloud. These dice are billed on the site as being a limited edition. I don't know what that might mean in regard to availability of stock, but if you find these dice interesting, that's a detail that should be considered. Thanks for watching.